Hello, everyone. I thought I would talk about something that I don't talk about a whole lot, but I thought I would talk about when we have disagreements, either online or in person, about, let's say, art, writing, literature, or even politics, religion, culture. How should we go about handling those disagreements? Because a lot of people, I think, when their opinions are attacked, let's say, they feel the urge to try to win in an argument, to prove the other person wrong with facts and logic. And even I have that urge. I have a very disagreeable personality, so when I am, let's say, challenged in any way, I feel an urge to correct the person who challenged me. But I think we need to be careful about doing that, especially when we're talking to people who we consider to be our friends, our family, and people like that, because I think that the purpose should not be to win an argument with someone, because sometimes at what cost are we going to win it? Like for example, a few days ago I was arguing with my sister about something, and I won't say what it was, but I could tell she was getting emotionally upset, even though I was technically, I guess you could say, winning, the argument, because I was presenting what I thought was a very logical case, but to her it was a very emotional issue. And so, even though I may have technically won the argument, at what cost did I win it? Because it just caused. I mean, we're okay now, but it just caused a temporary rift between us. And so I don't think that you should try to win arguments with people, especially friends and family who you differ. The point should be to try to listen and understand each other and to put your pride and ego aside and to learn from your friends and family and perhaps come out a better person for doing so. I think that should be the purpose of such conversations. The purpose should never be to win an argument, unless you're engaging in some kind of debate competition, which obviously the purpose there is to win an argument. You shouldn't be viewing conversations that way. Conversations are about learning about the person that you're talking to. That doesn't mean you always have to agree with them, but it's about learning to agree to disagree, and and it's about empathizing with the person that you're speaking to, even if you don't necessarily agree with them. That's what it should really be about, and I think so many of us forget that because out of our pride we want to win the argument, and and especially because I can get into a lot of arguments with people, especially online, because I have a mixture of different beliefs about all sorts of topics. I don't conform to one worldview or ideology, so I get attacked from all sorts of sides. I've been called everything from a communist to a Nazi to an atheist to a religious extremist. I've been called everything under the sun, and to to um, to an elitist, to someone who isn't intellectual enough. So again, I've been called everything, and and because and also pretentious, of course, at times as well, and and it can be very tempting and so to argue with all those people, because again, because I have my views vary so much. I get attacked a lot, so it can be very tempting to argue with such people. Or sometimes you can be discussing topics that aren't even controversial, and you can still get into arguments with people. Um, but I try not to, because again, some people, especially if they're a complete stranger, just aren't worth arguing with. And do I really want to take 2 days out of my time to try to win an argument with a complete stranger? So that's and and especially because, like for example, I the I tend to argue a lot, or have in the past, with the so-called like skeptic community, or people who believe that you should only believe in something if it can be rationally justified. And I have a lot of problems with worldview such as that, and it can be very tempting to argue with those people, especially. Um, but I've had almost every kind of conversation you could have with people like that. I'm not going to learn anything new. So even there, I try now to not get into arguments with such people, and so especially because I especially view such a worldview. worldview such as that, I kind of view such people to be what you might call condescending in their ignorance, that they think that they're being clever when they're really not. But I try to refrain from arguing with those people and all people that I disagree with now, because I don't think it is productive in any way, and I think it's far better to try to just listen and understand people, because I'll come out a better person doing that than trying to argue with people, because it's not really productive in the end, especially if I'm doing it with people who I care about in any way. So I think that it's better to not argue with people. It's better to try to learn from them instead.